Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue exploring the newly emerging expressions that's not classical Chinese expression, but the newest net speak that are characterized as 同温层, same temperature layer, is a new expression that I have to check because this sounds like a scientific term, which means isothermal, which is between troposthermal and no, troposphere and stratosphere. In Chinese, which is 对流层, which the hot air, cold air are going to shift vertically in their position. That's how we have weather conditions versus stratification, where the airplanes fly because the resistance or the wind will be minimal. And that's the 平流层, is we call it a flat flowing. So things are not vertically flowing, but flat flowing. And in between this stratosphere and troposphere, this two, there is this narrow band of sphere, which is 同温层, same temperature layer. Okay, it came from a scientific term, but people enlisted these science terms on social phenomenon where people feel the same about something as if they are living in the same temperature room. And they form a certain community, right? Share opinions about the same thing. So it's kind of like campy. People get, I guess, organically separated into groups and find their people on online and keep tapping into the same programs. Therefore, it's kind of an echo chamber, right? Everybody in their information bubble, and you're going to feel the same temperature with same thinking people. So that's the idea. We use this isothermal layer to express this socially kind of isolated and uniform group of people that separate themselves from others because they are stick with the same ideals. So that's 同温层, 同. Okay. This one is expressed by this big arch, which gives you the sense of space with a horizontal line, which means one. Chinese have 1, 2, 3, simply one horizontal line, two horizontal lines, and three horizontal lines. That's the first three digits. And then a mouse symbol that came from a cookware, the pot, and these are the two handles of the pot. And eventually we use the cookware to symbolize the diners. And this one mouth means one voice under the space. That's sameness. That's, I guess, monolithic in today's word. So people holding the same, exactly same, either it's political, religious, or whatever beliefs people share. That's the idea. Okay. When it's made of the water symbol on the left side, and we covered water so many times because that's one of the 5 basic elements, and Chinese also tend to use water behavior on human societal behavior. Okay, here we're talking about temperature. So we're using water to mean that we're heating food for prisoners. So this is almost like a prisoner care. That shows the human side, that even if the society punish them by imprison them, which we have a human figure in the circle that visually show that's a prisoner in a cell. And here is a glass of water that you have your fingers holding this kind of a glass like that. That represent a general kind of a liquid form of, normally it's the drinks. And I'm not sure that prisons serve drinks in today's drink sense, but It's a type of like hydration food, like simply to quell your thirst, because having access to water to drink is basic human right. And we heed it because Chinese believe you're better off not eating cold food. Like things like ice cream or anything that's icy, ice water, that's not good for your health. That's a long held belief. Maybe it's myth that Chinese think this brings cold inside your body. That's going to disrupt to your natural heat transfer inside your body. So Chinese believe you need to heat your food appropriately before eating them. Don't eat it cold. So this heating, use water, warm up the liquid, this glass of drink, water, for the prisoners before they drink. We can just imagine, feed them water, keep them hydrated, and heat the water with warm water. And that's a way to warm things up before feeding prisoners. And this is temperature that you need to control have a good control of the drink or food heat before giving it to people. So that kind of a regulated or measured temperature for eating or digesting, that is used as temperature. All right. Layer. This is a little bit complicated idea. 层, we talked about that before, but I don't think I did a good job of what it is about. Well, overall, the thing is about multi-layer construction of human buildings. So basically, it's high rises, have multiple layers. That's in the end, composite meaning. But what each individual pieces mean, this is getting a little bit complicated. Okay, let me give it a try. So this part, this normally means dead body, but somehow in this case, to create the meaning of layers, somehow it becomes a shelter. My guess is because Chinese have this door symbol, kind of look like this. This is a single panel door. And you see from here to here, just a little bit taking out this horizontal line and also taking out this vertical line here, just knock out this part. And then the rest of them looks like that. It could be during, before printing was invented, people have to hand copy everything and mistakes could happen. And originally it would mean the panel door, which the door would imply the human quarters, the housing. Whether it's double door, which means bigger household, bigger house to match up to the double panel door, or smaller household, single panel door, is related to housing. So that's my guess, because originally just by itself, it means dead body, dead animal body that I couldn't connect, couldn't even create a story based on what the dead body is about later. Okay, the rest of it, this number 8. Okay, number 8, it has some Chinese worldview or philosophy-based meaning, but in a lot of component made into other Chinese characters. This means separation. It's like two separate air going out further away. So this separation means you're kind of exhaling, have your air goes out that are not concentrated, not in this direction, but going outward, like this direction. So like this. So out, air out. And then we have this symbol, kind of oval shape with 3 sort of vertical lines in there. Okay, it is ancient chimney. My guess is ancient times chimney. Just like we have a lot of this symbol, which is arch with a chimney on the top. nian is how it's pronounced, is only existing in our language as a component, never as a self-standing character. But this nian means human shelter. And I interpreted this uh, top point as the chimney, because chimney is important. That what make human shelter, because we have to cook food. We are the only animal out there that have to cook, learn to use fire to heat and cook food before consumption. It helps us to consume better, to get a nutrition better, so we have a higher survival rate, right? All that fire technology embodied in that one chimney on top of this human shelter. And this is the cross-sectional view of that chimney. If we look from top down at that chimney, it has, well, oval shape. Originally it could come just a circle, but because it's made into language, it's stacked up with other icons, pictographs, and it need to save space, vertical space. So it got squashed from a circle to oval shape. The three vertical lines there are kind of an air can pass, the birds or the other wild things cannot pass. So there is this separation because it's a shelter, right? It shelters you from the external world, not only external world of weather elements, but also wildlife. Chinese have this big, long or tall standing door block that you have to step over, because that was functionally used as a blocking of wildlife that's crawling on the floor. And same as the chimney here, we have the three bars as a blocker for wild animals, I mean, aka birds, most likely, to get into, or birds or bats, right, to get in your house. So that's the chimney cross-sectional view. And then the bottom is the mouse symbol with half side of it open. And then we have the horizontal line, means sweet. Sweet speaking or soft speaking. The bottom here is the soft speaking. The mouse symbol simply looks like this, which is a pot. But now here we open half of it. I don't know how to erase it, but you open half of it here. Ooh, okay, cool. You open half of it to make it kind of verbalized, externalized. And then add one horizontal line that implies a sweet, because it's sweet, so we want to hold in our mouths for longer. And that's the deduction of this. It's a sweet speaking. This is try to influence people. So you say it nicely to be easier, to be digestible, or taking your advice, right? So this speaking, and then to have the air goes out and have the through, I guess, the chimney over there. All these together means in the past. So how the whole thing means in the past is hard to know, but it means softly iterate, repeatedly say it so that the message goes out again and again. And your soft spokenness, right? You try to, to Chinese, the most effective way to influence people, not by preaching hard at something, but softly say it, so that it's not hurtful, so that it can enter their mind and be effective eventually. And this chimney, that's something that's hard to explain. And my view of this is, since this three, the speaking, soft speaking, chimney, and the ear separation stacking up, and I would view it as this is the kind of almost like a membrane between your domestic or yourself, what you're thinking, your internal life, to the external, the public, other people. So this is the chimney that through that you're speaking and influencing and have your air out. And that, when it happens over time, because it has to happen over time, And then slowly, softly, you may be able to change other people's mind. And that slow happening over time is associated with in the past. And also you iterate it over time. And this paired with this door panel, which related to housing, means layered housing. It's almost like you construct your ideas, your theories, you're building up something. Just like you're building up your argument over time, you're building out the house, different layers over time. Eventually, it simply means layer. Long-winded, but the same temperature layer here is an old map that shows that throughout the world, different regions of the world, of course, have different temperatures. And the same temperature layer, actually, if we look at, I'm forgetting, not the longitude, but latitude probably, yeah, latitude away from equators, they are not linear like that. It got different curvatures as the isothermal layer, but that's within the troposphere. Within the troposphere, there is this isothermal that you can map out, where in the world they share exactly the same temperature. And it's not a perfect linear line wrapping around the globe. That's one view we're presenting here on this map, but another layer meaning of this 同温层 means vertically, how far away from the ground level, and probably is 11,000 to 14,000 feet away from the ground level, not feet, kilometers. That's isothermal layer where exactly the same temperature. And that Chinese in the latest language expression means kind of like echo chamber, that people share exactly the same temperature or opinions about things as you. Therefore, you are comfortably staying in the same isothermal layer. All right, thank you for your time. See you another day.